Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So, what's happening in Japan? Is it dangerous? Is it trouble? Is it big trouble for Bitcoin and crypto and markets around the world? Let's talk about it because this is coming up and it can disrupt world markets in a big way. So, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Unfortunately, this morning, things look pretty darn good. U.S. markets start out really strong, in the green. Bitcoin was coming up, right? 29.6, and all of a sudden it started dipping down. And the U.S. market turned red. Really, really red. Why is that? Well, unfortunately, we have a new scare. It seems like we finally got past the Fed rate hike scare, but now we have this new one from Japan. So supposedly, which should be pretty soon, in fact, because they are 12 or 13 hours ahead of us. So it should be pretty soon. But Bank of Japan today or tomorrow will be announcing some kind of yield curve tweak. Okay. Now, bonds are not my thing. But from what I gather, here's what's happening. Bank of Japan have been artificially keeping their 10-year bond yield at 0.5%. Okay, basically, they've been buying up all of their bonds, basically, to keep the interest rate low. Okay, it's their way to kind of stimulate their economy rather than, what the U.S. have done, which is hand out an enormous amount of money and forgiveness, right? They just decided to just keep buying bonds and buying more and more and more and more and more and more. They've been doing that for years now, okay? Now, there's downsides to this. Obviously, they've spent an enormous amount of money doing so, but also inflation is still a problem, and their dollar, their yen, has devalued itself tremendously over the last few years, okay? I mean, tremendously. So they're in a position where they're kind of like, okay, we need to stop what we're doing or at least loosen it so that basically they're going to, I don't know exactly what they're going to do. I mean, it's up for discussion, but it seems like they may be buying less so that they'll allow the 10-year bond rate to go above 0.5%. Okay, that is what it sounds like. Or maybe there's something else that they're tweaking. But anyways, they're trying to change things because whatever they're doing is not working in their favor. And they basically have no choice but to change. Okay, now, when that happens, there's a lot of fear that this will disrupt bonds worldwide. It will disrupt currencies worldwide, especially, the valuation, because yen may dip more or may climb. I don't know which direction, but it's going to affect trade. It's going to affect bonds worldwide, and many people think it will affect markets worldwide. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the U.S. U.S. bonds yield is spiking. Okay. In anticipation of this, when it spikes, it's no good. This person also says that Japan has propped up the global debt market by pumping 3.4 trillion into foreign markets. Okay, so sounds like they weren't just purchasing bonds of Japan, but also of many other countries, including the U.S. and Canada and France and all this stuff, right? So, I don't know what this all means. It's very complicated, but it sounds like it's not a good thing. It sounds like Japan may have pumped trillions into the market and in their own economy, right, to try to make things better. But obviously, it hasn't worked out that well, and now they need to change. And now people are very afraid whatever they announce soon, because again, it's in morning time for them already. Whatever they announce can bring massive volatility and changes to the global markets. And with that, there's going to be volatility. and many people think that Bitcoin, it's going to get volatile for Bitcoin because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general are sensitive to changes in global liquidity conditions, according to this author. Okay, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Right now, it's like Bitcoin hasn't really moved. It's not like Bitcoin's tanking or anything. It's not like the entire market cap of crypto is tanking. In fact, even in the US, the pre-market for tomorrow is in the green. So it doesn't seem like it's that concerning at this point or everyone will be selling off. But I definitely feel like today's turnaround was because people were afraid that something may happen, right? And maybe whatever Japan announces, maybe it's not as bad as as people anticipate. We don't know. We don't know, right? What we do know is this. Japan, they got some smart people over there, okay? So hopefully they're not just going to crash their own economy and crash the whole world while at it. So I'm assuming they have a plan, okay? Hopefully a pretty good plan that's not going to disrupt the recovery of every country on this planet. And hopefully we can all continue moving forward. That's all we could look forward to, right? But unfortunately, that's what happened today. So we'll see. But you know what? What do I always say to you guys? Besides short-term volatility, short-term geopoliticalness, short-term macro factors that may slow down Bitcoin or may cause some disruptions or may even cause some panic selling. But overall, Bitcoin does not care. Bitcoin is programmed by code and will continue to move forward and onwards and upwards. Okay, so just to remind you guys, Bitcoin, we're about 81% in this current halving progress. So we're getting closer and closer and closer. And the reason why Bitcoin doesn't care anything about short-termness, because long-term, it's the scarcest asset that we have. It's only going to get more scarce. Demand keeps going up. And that's quite simply it. Supply and demand. Supply is diminishing, demand is increasing, and will be increasing exponentially as we move forward. That's why the price always goes up, and we form higher highs and higher lows. Okay, but short term, there may be volatility. There always is. When you zoom out like this, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of volatility. Oh, there is. There is, sometimes for years, sometimes months. Okay, but every single time we get through it and we form a new high. And many people feel like this next high will be really, really high. Okay, Morgan Creek thinks 300,000 by 2028. So they're saying the halving event afterwards. Okay, but many people feel like even in 2024, 2025, Bitcoin could be easily at 250,000. Tim Draper thinks so. Kathy Wood also thinks so. She thinks by 2030, Bitcoin will be at $1.5 million. These guys, and of course Michael Saylor, he believes Bitcoin will be in the millions in the future, right? So you got a lot of smart people that definitely know what's going on, and they are buying and holding. And let's not forget all the big boys like BlackRock and Fidelities of the world. They're all FOMOing it in as well because they know this is the future as well, and they already missed enough of it, and they don't want to miss more. And then today, it turns out this investment banking company, TD Cohen, okay, also thinks the same thing. We believe Bitcoin could ultimately represent a superior store of value relative to all forms of money, right? So they're not the only ones. Everyone is starting to realize, right? Especially this last year, 2022 and 2023 has been harsh on everything, not just crypto, not just Bitcoin. Every single asset class took a big dip. But people realize that inflation is a real thing. Overprinting money is a real thing. Distrust in banks and governments are real things. That's why you need something that's not controlled by anyone, not any entity, not any country, not any central bank. And that's Bitcoin. More and more people are realizing that, and more people are coming in. Also, more and more people are using Bitcoin's network. Sum of transfer volume has now reached $110 trillion, and continues to move forward. So great things are happening. Great things are coming. So just brace yourself, HODL and DCA, and we'll get past this together no matter what Japan does or the Fed does or anyone else that may disrupt markets. We will get past this. All right. And then outside of Bitcoin, this is probably pretty bullish for XRP. But Gary Gensler was pressed again today in an interview whether or not he's going to appeal the XRP non-security ruling. And he just dodged that question. You would figure if he wants to, he would indicate, yeah, we're seriously thinking about it, or we're looking into it, and or we're in the process of it. He didn't say any of those things. He just basically dodged the question, which makes me think, and I've said this before, I theorize, I don't think the SEC is going to appeal. They already spent 3.5 years trying to make this happen, and it didn't happen. So what else are they going to do? And him in emails and testimonial has also been leaked too, which was something that they tried very hard to make sure never leaks. But it did, or not leaks, released. So I don't know. And plus, I don't think they have the money or resources anymore. That's why Gary is asking Congress for another $70 million or something, because they spent all their money and they have a ton of other lawsuits. So anyways, I think this is pretty big. I don't think he's going to appeal, and they're probably going to settle with Ripple, because what else are they going to do? And they're probably going to settle with Coinbase, and they're going to settle with Binance. They're going to settle with everyone, right? So I think it's pretty good. Global adoption is still happening with other chains too. Polygon is teaming up with Bank of Italy to explore tokenized assets. I love Polygon, and they continue to grow. But one of their partners, ImmutableX, is also growing. ImmutableX is coming out of the Immutable ZK EVM, which basically is their own chain utilizing ZK EVM technology. And they're going to use that to onboard a whole bunch of games. And because of it, they're getting a whole lot of attention, and their major partner is Polygon. Okay, so ImmutableX also seems like they're in a really good spot. And also, meme coins seem like they're in a good spot too. Social buzz around meme coins are rising. I don't know why ApeCoin is kind of in there, because it's really not a meme coin, but Sheeb and Doge getting more exciting, more volume, okay? People are searching for them a lot more. And let's not forget the newest meme coin, Pepe. You still have whales loading up on them, thinking that they will go much higher in this next, parabolic run. Maybe, right? And then lastly, a lot of people made a big fuss about this. The U.S. Department of Justice dropped all campaign finance charges against none other than SBF, who's still looking pretty SBF-ish. He seems pretty awkward as usual. Basically, this is just a few charges, in case you guys are wondering. This is not all charges. He's still being charged with many counts of fraud. So this is some kind of campaign finance charge. Maybe political donations. I think that's what this is, but still. Don't worry. There's many other charges he has to face, not just with the U.S. Department of Justice, but also from other agencies as well. All right, so there you go. All right, that's pretty much it today. Still quite even though the Bank of Japan fears kind of took over the markets. Right now, it's still looking pretty good. We just kind of lost one day's gains, but let's see what happens tomorrow. All right, let's do some Q&A. Should I do DCA? I guess. Here, a lot of you guys are like, can't get enough of it, but I mean, it's, you know, I don't do this because I want you guys to copy trade me. I'm doing it to prove a point that DCA does work over time. So I'm hoping a lot of you guys that keep asking for it are not trying to copy trade me, because if that's the case, I may stop doing it. Because this is not me saying, okay, you need to follow me, right? This is just me doing a sample portfolio and showing you guys how to DCA long term. Keep that in mind. But with that said, last week, unfortunately, we're down about 3%, a little bit higher than last week, or a little bit lower than last week. But, you know, over the last 6 months, gains are still pretty good. Not even yet, but soon. Soon. All right, let's see. I don't know what to DCA today. I haven't really thought about it. Whenever there's, I don't know, whenever you don't know what to DCA, you can never go wrong with Bitcoin. Franco, of course, it's not my real portfolio. Do you think I only have $11,000? No, I have a lot more than that. But the projects I do have in the sample portfolio are projects I do like, though. I don't know. I just covered Polygon a little bit, XRP a little bit. XRP has held since I DCA'd into here and has gone up to number 3. Ethereum and Bitcoin, you know, haven't really moved. Solana has been moving pretty well. Avalanche, you know, Phantom, love to DCA more than the Phantom, but I don't like the way this hack, you know, kind of brought them down. Optimism, little overlooked. You know, Coinbase's base L2 is based on Optimism. I think I'll put a little in Solana. Solana, Cardano, Avalanche. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do Solana and Avalanche specifically. These are both doing well, and you know, I don't have a whole bunch into them, so let's add it. All right, so it's gonna be $50. Divide by 25. 1.985. All right, and then a little more into Avalanche. I think Avalanche is very overlooked. Not a whole lot of people talk about Avalanche, but I think they are doing quite well. All right. So this week I added Solana and Avalanche. So there you go. What? I haven't bought ETH in a while, but that's because my ETH holding in here is pretty large already, under BDC. So a lot of these L1s, L2s, they're, you know, I haven't DCA'd a lot into them, so beef them up a little bit. How do you stop things being sent to your Polygon address? I get a lot of scam NFTs being sent to me via Polygon. You can't. Once the address is known, people just send you stuff. You can't really stop it, other than just getting a new address and stop using that one. Let's see here. How does it feel like to see a 10x? It feels good, but you know, sometimes 10x doesn't mean life-changing wealth, especially if you're holding like a small amount. You know, 10x on $100, it's 1,000. 1,000 becoming 10,000, that's pretty good. You know, sometimes 10x is good and it comes and goes, right? But what you really want to see is 10xing your portfolio. That's when it really counts, right? And it's fabulous when it happens. Let's see here. Aluzio, child support CS. I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm just going to ignore that. I do not like BCH. I hate BCH. Okay, and I don't think anyone should be holding on BCH. That's for sure. The fact that Taylor Swift and Barbie sales are being used as GDP indicators. What's next? Cardano becoming the name of a clown. Cardano the clown. I'm pretty sure there's a clown probably called Cardano. That's not too far-fetched. And yeah, you know, some people were defending those indicators like, oh, you're missing a point, George. You know, like it gives you a broad perspective of how much spending there is from retail investors or something like that. People were trying to make that argument. Like, I get it, but it's not a really good indication, okay? Not everyone in the U.S. is FOMOing to go watch Barbie. Even if they had the money, that's not something that most people are doing. Taylor Swift is mostly just teenager girls, and they're convincing their moms to buy tickets, whether or not their moms really want to. And some of those tickets are ridiculous. Thousands of dollars, right? So they're just not really good indicators for a majority of the U.S. or the world, for that matter, right? So why hate BCH? Do you even know the history of BCH? Keep it real. You should learn a little bit about BCH, why it came out, who supported it, because BCH is a giant money grab. Giant money grab by Roger Ver and Jihui Wu. They overplayed their hand. They caused a contentious fork, and that's why. So, no, I don't support BCH, and no one should either. And it just confuses people. When people come into the space, they're like, oh, look, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is cheaper than Bitcoin. It's a better buy, right? No, it's not. Bob, stop it with your comments. Even though they're quite hilarious. They're quite hilarious. What do you think about AI coins? I think they're premature in the space. I don't think there's a lot that's really using AI all that much. They existed since 2017. They haven't done much with them. They've gotten some traction recently because of ChatGPT, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of AI actually going on. Is there a way to track OTC purchases? There are. I mean, some. You can't track everything. Like, if you made a sale to your friend, there's no on-chain metrics that's going to, track that, right? OTC basically is between two parties. And there are some OTC brokers, and there are some analytic platforms or data analytic platforms that can track some of that, but it's just a small amount. It can't possibly be everything because they don't know all the addresses out there. Luke, I appreciate that. WorldCoin, ooh, I just saw a video of like a line of people trying to get KYC'd by an orb for WorldCoin. That just seems so bad. I don't know why anyone wants to do that. get an iris scan and store it into this database that Sam Altman controls, that just seems like it's a really bad idea. And I don't know why anyone wants to do that. Seriously, George, if Japan has a meltdown, can Bitcoin go back below 20,000? I think it could happen if they really have a major meltdown. Hopefully the people in charge of Bank of Japan are not idiots and they don't let that happen. Sure, if we have a global meltdown of catastrophic proportions, then yes, Bitcoin could drop down to 20,000. But will it happen? Right now, it doesn't seem like it. If people were really, really, really afraid, the futures market for tomorrow would not be in the green and Bitcoin would not be holding as well as it is. So I don't know. I don't think so, but it could happen. You said July was going to be good. July was good. Did you not see the XRP announcement? July was very good for many altcoins. Solana, Cardano, Doge, even BTC. It was good for a lot of coins. The management team will phantom stay. The only one that really matters is Andre Cronje. As long as he stays, they'll be fine. But he has left before, and he came back because they were kind of struggling. So hopefully he sticks with Phantom long term. If he leaves again, they'll probably be in disarray. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Lazaro, you know, sometimes that's just the way things are. You can't be discouraged, okay? You can be diversified. You can't be discouraged. Sometimes Bitcoin is just very boring. Very boring is not a bad thing because when it's not boring, that's when things get really crazy, right? To the upside or to the downside, but, you know, we care about the upside. So sometimes consolidation is a good thing. All right, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to repeat that. Decentralized social is a pump narrative. Next bull. No. No one, people in social could care less about decentralization, right? Like, I hate to say it, but a lot of people outside of crypto just don't care. The millennials don't care. They just want something useful, something that all their friends and followers are on, okay? They could care less if it's social. Decentralized social has been done before and have failed miserably, and I don't think it's going to change. That's not what people care about. People just care about really good dApps to use. Now, you can make a really good decentralized social app, and if it's really that good, people will go to it. But people have tried creating a decentralized Facebook, okay? It's gone nowhere. EOS tried to create something called The Voice. It's supposed to be a decentralized, huge, I don't know what it is, but it failed, right? Jack Dorsey's trying to do a decentralized Twitter. Has it gotten any traction? I don't know. I don't think so. People don't care about decentralized social platforms. They just want something to work. But if someone creates a better version that's decentralized, then it will work. Gen Z, whatever. I like to say millennials, but yeah, even millennials are too old. Gen Z or whatever's beyond Gen Z. Do you think Gary is trying to sabotage crypto because secretly accumulating altcoins so he can become a whale? No. He's sabotaging because he's told to. His strings are pulled. Someone's pulling his strings. But, you know, I don't think he's secretly. He doesn't need to secretly accumulate. He already has hundreds of millions of dollars. You look up Gary Gensler, he's worth like $100 million. He has a ton of money already. Yeah, I don't know who is suppressing it. Right now, I just know that, yeah, Bitcoin is boring. It seems like it is being suppressed. There are definitely factors. There's people that are trying to make sure Bitcoin does not go above 30,000. That's pretty clear, right? Yeah, so there's something going on there. And it could be because, not Gary, but BlackRock is trying to accumulate. That makes more sense to me. Because these fund managers have to accumulate a lot of Bitcoin in order to offer their spot Bitcoin ETF. So they could be the ones that's suppressing and, you know, keeping prices low, right? Someone's doing it. Yeah, and that's for altcoins. They normally don't spike up until the very end, right? This cycle has been very good for alts, way better than previous cycles, but they're still weak because money, the big money is still in Bitcoin and now Ethereum, right? So a lot of the altcoins have not caught up, but they will. They will in the future. BlackRock should buy Japan. I don't think they have enough money. And SBF chargers are not all dropped, just the campaign financing ones. Will we ever get to a point where BTC will be hard to manipulate? Yeah, when it's much bigger. When it's at the market cap of gold, possibly. You know, when it's something, when each SAT or each Bitcoin is worth substantially more, the whales are going to have a harder time to manipulate it. You know, that's what any asset class. When it's small, when it's like 500, 600 million or billion in market cap, it doesn't take a whole lot of money to move it, unfortunately. But when it's in the trillions, 5 or 6 trillion, well, that's 10 times the money, right? So, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. You know, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. I do have some announcements for this weekend. Okay, so tomorrow I'm not going to be doing my morning stream. I'll try to put out a video and see what's going on with Japan. Right, but I'm not going to stream tomorrow, and tomorrow's Friday anyway, so no night stream. But Saturday, I'm not going to have a morning stream, but I will have an evening stream, and I'll be streaming in Sin City Crypto Studio, so in Las Vegas, because I am having my event this Saturday. So there's that, and for the remainder of next week, I'm going to be in Vegas, so I'll probably just put out recorded videos. So just to give you guys a heads up. And I may do some fun videos as well. All right. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later. And stay tuned. I'll still have a lot more videos for you guys, but schedule may be a little off. All right. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.